supportive champions for the Aphelios and the Azir, Sandbox are choosing another champion that now has to run into Damwon. So, I mean, it's pretty much sinning all around, but that Aphelios can really come in handy. Feel like this is the makeup of a team composition that Sandbox could be happy with, even though it still falls under the same principles that they should otherwise have been afraid of, which is knife fights inside of laning phases. So can Root manage to do the things that Aphelios can do in this game? Because if he can't do it, I can't imagine that this is going to be very good.
Yeah. And is Fate going to be able to play a more defensive Azir as well? I think that Azir's job this game is going to be Emperor's dividing out the cannon so that their Aphelios can actually pop off. It's not going to be that I'm going to dive forward with my shifting sands and try and get the big Shurima shuffle. So we'll see. Damwon do have a lot of comfort here in this composition. They can happily scale relatively easily, and they do have some laning prowess as well, especially there with Beryl on his Pantheon bottom side. I think he's still sitting at a pretty decent win rate on that one. He may have lost one game, as he's played 5 of the Pantheon, and he hasn't lost one yet. And so this will be game number 6. Let's see how he is going to go. Over the side of Sandbox, I do like their mid to late game team fighting. I mean, this is a very quintessential comp outside of maybe the Lee Sin, not necessarily scaling as well, but everything else is able to team fight very, very nicely. And not exactly a difficult to execute comp as well. So I think it's actually a good idea for Sandbox to go back to something a little bit more easy to pilot when you're up against the ropes. And that's absolutely where they were after game number 1.
Damwon now is maybe looking for some action early on. Obviously, Beryl's able to take W. Now, they do have a sweeping lens. It's going to come in here, get themselves a ward. You can actually, a lot of people don't know this, you can click on the ward, and at the very top left of your screen, you can mouse over the ward buff icon thingy, and it tells you who placed it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can also tell who's teleporting to a turret, I believe.
Really? By like clicking on it and having a look at the buff?
Yeah, I believe it tells you who is coming in. I think Chovy said that actually in an interview.
That's really
recently.
Cool. Wow.
There's some
still learning things 10 years later.
Tips and tricks, Alice. Tips and tricks.
This is brilliant.
Now, also there's a lesser known but very powerful tip.
Oh yeah.
You can actually play Annie to get into gold.
Oh really?
Yeah.
And so what do? Do you put bears on people? Is that sort of the plan? With
You
that?
press R.
Right. Cool.
You know.
And that puts the bear on people. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
one of the lesser known ones.
Well, there we go. Just pick Annie, I guess, is going to be the thing. Do you still when you get to the bear stage?
Yes.
Do you still use your passive to stun your opponents, light them on fire with your summoner spell, and then they die? Is that sort of how it works?
That is one of the things. Now, it's pretty hard to mess up. And also, if you get ganked, press R on the enemy jungler.
Oh, right.
That's how it is. 2-on-2 is the way I look at it, you know?
That's great.
Perfect.
I like it. Or maybe it's 1-on-2, depending on which elo you're in. As Beryl, he doesn't quite find his spear onto Root. We'll see whether Ghost is going to be able to utilize the excellent laning phase of the Ashe up against the Aphelios. Whether they're going to have a conversation or not is another really good question. And I have a feeling the bottom lane is going to be a lot more relevant in this game than it was in game number 1. As Ghost takes a turret shot. It's not what you wanted to do.
And we'll see how they manage their laning phase. So that, I mean, it's a very awkward crash. Wave 2.
So Beryl has played, the fasted Pantheon and lost. That's what happened. So it's actually very confusing.
Also, 5 of Pantheon's 9 games, all of the wins are from Beryl. Every other instance of Pantheon in the LCK is lost.
Yeah.
So let us see how he's going to manage to do here in this game. No, I thought Nagari was going to go for a cheater, but we're not quite at that point yet. Sometimes it happens occasionally.
Yeah, no, we actually saw it a bit last week.
Right, so it does happen unintentionally. And when you're not conscious of why you're doing it, it really takes away from some of the value. Now, speaking about things that one could be conscious of, Azir running away, Summit.
Oh, that's a flash. See whether the Facebreaker comes in. They do get the flash out of Fate, but they're still going.
Oh.
Haymaker's not going to quite find the target, and there's pretty sad, but no real reason to be there, Canyon, as Beryl's going to be able to lock down that kill. Both Summoner spells now on cooldown. Ghost quite lonely, but otherwise very successful.
Yeah,
Damwon.
He's very happy down here in bot lane. There's no real way to kill him underneath the turret unless Lee Sin would be here, and even then it would still be very dicey to try to execute. So Ghost is now just having a wave that slow pushes back into the opponents, but his support is almost back. You have Set in close proximity. Pantheon, he's just getting his passive stacks up. No, he's not just wasting mana.
Gorilla's going to find Canyon here and exhaust him. Fate looking for it. Doesn't have the ulti as there's the Haymaker to buy some time. The Canyon will be going down. Boss bomb for a bit of damage onto OnFleek, but that is a good answer here for Sandbox.
Yep. And so it's going to be 1-for-1. OnFleek is going to come in here into mid lane. Place the control ward, finds a ward himself, and you can see Nuggery up here really trying to put on a lot of pressure.
Gorilla makes his way back to the lane. He's taking a lot of damage here as Ghost with the autos. Trying to get that damage down, and Beryl going to be respected there by Gorilla. Flashes out of the way of a potential spear to the face. But that is not how he wanted to re-enter this lane.
Yeah. So now Ghost and Beryl, they're going to try to hard crash in this wave, and I really love seeing support Pantheon so often. It's so underappreciated globally right now. He's just so oppressive because of the support items.
Yeah.
He can hit the lethality breakpoints, and because he's so efficient with longswords, he comes online so much faster than other support champions, and he offers such a punch. So that combined with his global presence, the fact that his E is grossly imbalanced. I just want to point that out. It's basically an ultimate ability.
Oh my god, Beryl found him!
Yep.
Gorilla does have the Titan's Wrath, but oh no, thought he was dead, I guess. But he's not. Flashes on cooldown. If there's an Ashe here, no, she's not here. Well, he's gonna get out.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's a whoopsie.
That was definitely a pretty big blunder.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he thought he killed him.
To go back to your point, though, I mean, we recently saw, it was Kaiser, wasn't it, for Mad Lions that picked up Pantheon support as well over in the LEC. We have seen him cropping up here and there, and I think that it is a lot of Beryl's influence.
You see, I want to point out really quickly, that gank attempt that OnFleek's going for, it completely requires Nuggery to blunder in order to make it work, because the wave is pushing away from Wukong. So. In the replay here, I actually misspoke. I said Summit. I meant Smite. Canyon cast the Smite to get access to the movement speed.
Right.
From Nimbus
Mr. Pan.
Yep.
바텀에
He also
주도권이
avoids having to
있네.
walk around.
나
the
매
minion.
있어. 하거나 필요하면 써.
Mr. Fan? I don't know.
Oh, for Pantheon.
Oh, for...
That's the Pantheon song.
Yeah.
Which is actually an awesome song. You guys
Apparently.
haven't seen it? It's all in
Apparently,
Korean,
no.
but it's great. I think that it's subtitled on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah. Go check that one out. That's a good depth charge there as Canyon's going to move on in, though. OnFleek in position.
Whoa.
Great kickback. But Beryl keeps himself alive for a very long time. Not going to be long enough as both supports are going to be traded. 2 for 2. As far as the kill score, Damwon still in the lead by just a little bit.
Yeah. And Showmaker not really accruing a super edge currently here in mid lane. Azir coming over, getting his blue buff right now. Ghost has his wave slow pushing away. And one of the interesting and also unfortunate things is the Merc Treads picked up on Wukong super early. Not that the boots are necessarily super bad, but there's so much on hit on the side of Damwon.
Yeah.
That you do want to get access to armor as well in later stages of the game. Summit going for the trade here.
Yeah, he's looking for an actual kill here, but the Ignite goes down and Summit has to flash.
Yeah, I don't know.
Canyon's in position.
Yeah, this is very...
Oh, Hex Flash available. There's
what?
A Face Breaker, and
What's
that's
he doing?
Very, very dead root. Plummet?
It's definitely... I mean, from the second that the trade started, you're basically able to deduce from my voice that it's peculiar.
Yeah.
is basically the way to say it.
Yep.
As I was confused what he was trying to do, because it's a losing trade every day of the week. Nuguri has Ignite available, and you can never take it that hard against Slicing Maelstrom. And it's not like Summit has any way to outplay anything, nor is his jungler in close proximity. So really just a lot of the Sandbox members looking very, very tilted
Oh, yeah.
in
And I mean,
today's match.
It's likely a result of Game 1 going the way that it did, to be perfectly honest. But we're going to have a look at this bot lane gang. Decent kickback there to guarantee the kill onto Beryl. And OnFleek going to survive. But Gorilla not going to be so lucky. So everything was pretty even up until this.
I mean, Cannon underneath the turret would just go to waste. And so Summit is basically saying, like, yeah, I'm going to trade with you. Take a look at the minimap. Lee Sin and Nautilus about to maybe consider getting Cloud Drake. And there's no world where the trade's ever good. He can't get Cannon low enough in order to do a follow-up joust where maybe he could kill Cannon. And he was willing to actually give up a Cannon minion to do that trade. So you have to really justify it being worth, and there's just not a universe where that one ever is. So right now, Nuguri in live is feeling super, super comfortable. And Sandbox, I mean, this is another one of those games where their jungler is just not layered with the players.
Yeah, not really working out. They were able to get the first Drake. It's only a Cloud, but
yeah,
still Sandbox do gather that for themselves like they did in game number 1. Next one going to be an Infernal up in 3 minutes time as Gorilla trying to clear out that ward. He's going to get punished for it as Dredge line pretty short, but the arrow has to be flashed. Gorilla seems to constantly have his flash on cooldown this game.
Damwon exerting a ton of pressure down in bottom.
Cool package.
Yep.
Delivered to no one here.
And you can see the wave, I mean, it was pushing into Nuguri, and you know that Lee Sin's on the left-hand side, but Nuguri not wanting to just let the wave come in. Rift Herald being started up.
Yep, Beryl holding the mid wave. Ghost is going to join him. Summit and Nuguri just fighting towards the top side, and I think Sandbox know. They're most likely not going to be able to win a fight over here because Nuguri does have his ultimate. And Summit not going to be able to get any sort of priority, so they do give this one up. Shelly going to go over to Canyon. Sandbox try and do what they can, shoving out this mid-wave. And Root is going to do what he can to get whatever lead he can get on the bottom side of the map. OnFleek discovered here by Ghost. And the flash is going to come out, so you do get that from Ash. That's definitely high value, as now Canyon breaks Summit's face, who's going to go into his decoy. Good haymaker there. Make sure Canyon's alive. But yeah, Summit's just going to run around the Rosie for a moment as Emperor's Divide comes in. Teleport going to be cancelled.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, on the bottom side, a bit of a dive here as the Ashe is going to fall. We're going to try and mitigate as much damage as possible here as Beryl makes it a 2-for-1 in the end. Not as bad as it could have been.
2-for-1 in the end, and the really bizarre thing is Fate canceled Corki's teleport, even though letting it channel would have been the correct play, so that Fate could just crash in waves and try to get some turret plates for himself, because there's 5 plates in mid lane.
Yeah.
And Corki going up to top lane would have meant that the turret gold would have been dispersed between 3 members, and Corki wasn't getting any XP or gold from minions. So even that just... I'm interested in pro views here of these pro players in this moment, because does Fate actually F-key top lane and see, hey, wait a minute, Corki's not going to anything? And so just take a look at this. Herald's going to go down. Watch when Corki TP's in. What is he TPing in for? I'm not really sure, because you're sharing it with 3 champions. Wukong was 100% dead. And so Showmaker makes a bit of a blunder decision, and then look at Fate on the minimap. So down here in bottom, though, Sandbox, they do fight back a little bit. Easy coordination of kills.
I find it so confusing that Showmaker tried to teleport top.
Yes.
When he should have been teleporting bot lane. It's really weird.
Getting his directions wrong. It's not.
Yeah, I guess. You know, sometimes I'm an Australian. I understand up versus down is difficult to wrap your head around.
By the way,
you're going to be avoided there.
I have a question for you, but I'm going to wait till after the fight.
Arrow is going to sail majestically by as Root's going to get slowed down. Ghost standing very far forward, but Beryl going to flash after Root. Should be able to grab that kill by himself, but 80 carries going to be traded. There's a slicing maelstrom of gigantic proportions in the backline, though, as Nuguri looking for a bit more damage. The Dragon fighting Canyon and the Lee Sin. But the Lee is going to bite the dust first. Pantheon comes in to save the life of his jungler. Noguri cleans up, and Damwon are going to smash that team fight and get themselves a Drake.
Yeah, and I mean, this is looking very akin to game number 1 right now. Everything is falling apart. Sandbox, they're trying to be so forceful inside of the game here. And Damwon, they're starting up the blue buff. They're going to steal that one away. They're going to give it over to Showmaker. More turret plates going down now in bottom. Nuguri just managing to barely get that last one at the very end. No turret plates. Handed over to Fate, who's just basically in a handshake wave clear with the Corki. Let's take a look at this. Canyon comes over, superplex down, gets onto Root. Facebreaker going through, pulls him in. Beryl able to find his way, and so Aphelios not really protected. Kennen gets the crash in top lane, comes in really strong, slicing Maelstrom. On fleet taking so much damage from the Dragon, getting locked up with the Set, gets annihilated by the Haymaker, and then Set's passive HP region with the potion running. Very effective. Really nice flash by Showmaker as well in response to the Emperor's Divide.
Yeah, Showmaker actually bought the time of 2 people during that engage, which meant that somehow Canyon manages to survive in the back of a Dragon Pit whilst the Dragon was fighting him as well, and everything sort of was claimed based on that. Great stuff here. Means that Canyon now very close towards his Dead Man's Plate at 2-1-5. 3-0-2 though for Noguri. He's having a stellar performance here today. I believe didn't die in game number 1 on his Renekton, and is now continuing to look great on the Cannon in game number 2, ahead by just a casual 3,000 gold.
Yeah. Things are looking pretty grim right now. 5,000 gold lead for Damwon. And when Corki and Ash are ahead, things
What is that damage?
Oh.
Noguri will just solo kill Summit in about 2.5 seconds.
I definitely think that it's Plummet here today.
Yeah.
And that is very unfortunate. So.
Yeah, he might need a bit more magic resist than just those Merc Treads, maybe. It's almost a bit.
Oh!
That showstopper's real nice, but he's not the only one that can reposition people. Noguri's going to turn up though, and this is a very angry Pikachu. My god, the damage is just despicable. 6,000 gold now the lead. This outer turret in mid lane should be falling down as Showmaker. He's going to have another early night, but he basically just lets the rest of his team do it here today.
Well, he's the Showmaker. He's directing it, you know? I mean,
he's the show watcher.
Yeah. It's pretty much what is going on here. Sandbox are falling apart right now. This is like when a wave crashes at the beach and it ruins your sandcastle.
Yeah.
Or in this case,
and you've been spending like a lot of time building that sandcastle as well.
Although it doesn't look like they've been spending a lot of time building the sandcastle. I'll be a little bit honest with you. It doesn't seem like they've been spending a lot of time doing anything, actually.
Yeah, they spotted that the tide was coming in.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're about 3 meters away, so obviously it'll be all right. Yeah, that was pretty comfy.
Well, take a look at this. Right out of midair. And that's a tackle. Canyon's really been working on his application for the NFL, is what's going on there as Set.
That was definitely one that's going to get... I don't know anything about football. I'm not even going to try.
Okay.
Well, not that kind of football.
Don't look. Don't look. Don't look.
I look?
I didn't want to look.
Oh, no. I saw...
Yeah. You win some, you lose some.
Yep, I guess.
You win some, you lose some. It's just...
Well, now...
Let's try to justify it.
Now the Conqueror and Severum healing from Root is going to be cancelled.
Correct. And
plus OnFleek won't be able to use his Safeguard second activation healing as effectively.
Ooh, that's a really good point. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And if OnFleek tries to use...
Noguri's just going to kill Summit underneath the turret.
Now take a look at this. Summit has gotten back about 20 HP here. So,
well, is the W available? It is not. So he does get out. No ultimate, no flash, no ability to save his turret. And yes.
The real interesting thing is if OnFleek gets caught in his jungle and he tries to smite a camp for HP, the Morello's going to be able to reduce that.
Whoa, you're right.
Yeah.
So it's even better.
Even better. And also, if you notice, Atlas, you might have skipped over it, there's a refillable potion on Azir.
Oh, that's true.
So.
And I did miss that. And this is, of course, an electrocute.
This is another
Azir,
lost to Shopkeeper.
So he's probably got Taste of Blood, Ravenous Hunter.
I just got a brand new idea for LCK content.
Oh, yeah?
We're just going to make a sideshow Lost to Shopkeeper.
I mean,
I got too much ammo.
We're doing that regularly in the Pog Station.
Yeah, we
right?
are.
That's actually happening every episode. We called it LS Molds, but I think we can just call it Lost to Shopkeeper, and we can just go from there. That's absolutely fine.
You know what? We can actually just call it Lost Shopkeeper. I was the
lost
shopkeeper from a long time ago before things went wrong.
Lamenting shopkeeper, that's what we can call him.
Oh man.
Oh dear.
I gotta learn a thing or two from the two shopkeepers at the top and bottom of the map.
Yeah.
They are they're really good, clearly, at convincing people.
Salesman. You'd sell a lot more Leandros once they teach you, I promise. Well, Shirley, she's gonna get another charge onto an inhibitor turret. As Canyon's not going to find the face breaker there, as you can see. Looks like Damwon not wanting to go overly aggressive. They're ahead by 8,000 gold. Best take it slow. As Hawkshot will spot exactly where On Fleek was running. Probably some items left to build here for members of Damwon.
The thing is they're down 8,500 gold. They're down an Infernal Dragon. And the item completions are just going to be so oppressive because when Corki and Ashe are ahead, it's very hard to stabilize against them. The Wukong is also a non-factor, so we like to say that he's a Malphite that has follow-up when he goes for his engage because he wakes up out of his Cyclone very effectively with his follow-up skills. But Malphite sort of goes in, he presses R, slams the ground, says Rockman mad, and then sort of tries to run away and then rejoin the fight maybe later when his Q's back up and his passive. But Wukong, in this instance, when he's so far behind, he's not dealing damage, down base levels. I mean, he's down 3 in top. So,
yeah.
His damage, oh man.
No.
Oh!
The showstopper timing's just beautiful. The Ignite's going to tick down Beryl, grabs that kill. The arrow there just in celebration from Ghost, who wants to participate as there's the Yasuo coming down from Canyon. Asking Sandbox to bring it, but I don't know whether they want to. As Summit, yeah, he was going for a flank. I don't know whether that is necessarily a thing that he wants to do. As Canyon will chase after him, and he's much faster than this guy as well, as he brings him back with the Blast Cone. Cute little decoy there, but yeah, Summit's not going to survive this one. Showmaker's going to come down. It's the true damage from the Haymaker. It's going to spell the end of the Wukong. And now we're still zoomed. Having a look at Nogari fighting against this purple worm will give Damwon yet another buff here this game and possibly their ticket to a 10,000 gold lead pre-30 minutes.
Yeah, and I think if you're Sandbox and you're thinking, like, how can we ever come back?
Red Vigil comes in as now Root's going to get flashed on. Nogari goes golden as in goes Beryl. Gigantic AoE damage, but the Aphelios survived for a long time.
Yeah.
And Beryl is going to fall. Showmaker coming on in here, flash on forward, that's a triple kill for the Corki. Avoids the Sonic Wave as well, that could have been the death of him. And Damwon will get back to work on this Baron.
And, I mean, with Baron, it's now over 10,000. Oh. Okay.
Unofficial quadra kill there. Summit, you want to... it wasn't a real quadra kill, so it wouldn't be a real pentakill, so no need for any gentleman's agreements there. As 4-0-4 now. Showmaker who goes back and completes a outright rapid fire cannon. Let's have a look at what went wrong here. And
I mean,
Canyon's having a real good day, dude.
Perfectly timed set abilities. First, the phase breaker to stop the initial attempted getaway, and then the perfectly timed showstopper against the Emperor's Divide. Everything is working out so well. Nuggery gets the stun onto Gorilla, slicing Maelstrom eventually as the follow-up is through. He's just not really fed enough. Zion comes out, 3-man Pantheon engaged with his E up and ready. Does end up getting brought down, and then right here, Sandbox, the reason that they're doing this, the reason that they're trying to flip against Corki is because the only way that you can come back in the game is by actually trying to win the point flip. Not even really quite a point flip, as honestly
teleport. Maybe that's worth it. We'll just have to see whether Damwon can continue winning, as that avoidance from Noguri was just beautiful. Summit's going to go down, but he has about a health bar of Cannon Minion, as Canyon's going to be able to lock that one down. Both Nexus turrets now done. Gorilla looking for Noguri, who goes golden once again. The Nexus is going to be taken down. 24 minutes for this one. A collective almost 50-minute series as far as